Something huge just happened in the world of artificial intelligence. A new alliance just dropped that could seriously reshape the future. We're talking about three of the biggest names in tech joining forces, with tens of billions of dollars on the table. So yeah, this is a deal we need to unpack. Let's dig in and figure out what's really going on here.
And you gotta understand, this is so much more than just another business deal. This is a massive strategic play. It's about three industry giants throwing everything they have, their best AI models, their world-class hardware, and their massive cloud power, all into one single, incredibly powerful alliance. The game has definitely changed.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll meet the key players. Then, we'll get into the absolutely staggering numbers behind this thing. After that, we'll see how it's a win-win-win for everyone involved. And finally, we'll talk about why this alliance is such a big deal for the entire AI industry.
Okay, so first things first. To really get what's happening, you have to know who's involved. Every big story has its main characters, and this one has three titans right at the center, each bringing a critical piece of the puzzle.
First up is Anthropic. Now you can think of them as the brains of the operation, the AI architects. They're the ones actually building the incredible intelligence that's at the heart of this whole deal. Specifically, their family of large language models called Claude. Then you've got Nvidia. These guys are the engine builders. They make the raw horsepower, the incredibly powerful chips and computer systems, the hardware that makes all of this AI stuff actually work. Without their silicon, all those brilliant AI blueprints are just, well, they're just ideas on paper.
And finally, rounding out our trio, we've got the giant in the room, Microsoft. They provide the whole playground, the massive digital world where this AI can live and grow. We're talking about their Azure cloud platform. It's the stadium where this whole game gets played out at an unbelievable scale.
All right, so we know the players. Now, let's talk about the money. Because honestly, to get a handle on just how big this is, you gotta follow the money. And the numbers here are just, they're mind-blowing.
It all kicks off with this foundational number, $30 billion. That is the massive commitment Anthropic is making to buy computing power from Microsoft's Azure cloud. That's not just a purchase, it's a huge vote of confidence.
But wait, the money isn't just a one-way street. As part of this whole thing, Nvidia is turning around and investing up to $10 billion directly into Anthropic. See? They're not just selling parts, they're buying into the very future of the AI their chips are going to power.
And Microsoft? Oh, they're jumping in too, committing another $5 billion to their investment in Anthropic. They're making absolutely sure that one of the best AI models on the planet is deeply tied to their cloud. So when you lay it all out, what you see is this powerful, circular flow of cash and resources. Anthropic pays Microsoft for cloud space. Then, Microsoft and Nvidia pour billions right back into Anthropic. It's this tightly woven financial web where everyone is betting on everyone else to succeed.
And you know, it's not even all about the cash. This is wild. Anthropic is also locking down an initial 1 gigawatt of computing power. To give you an idea of what that means, that's enough electricity to power a small city. A whole city's worth of juice, all of it dedicated to just training and running their AI. That is a crazy amount of power.
So all of this, the money, the power, it leads to the real heart of the deal. This isn't just three companies agreeing to work together. No, this is what you'd call a true symbiosis. It's a relationship where they literally need each other to win.
It works like this beautiful, powerful loop. First, Anthropic designs its cutting-edge Claude AI models. Then, and this is the cool part, they work hand-in-hand with Nvidia to co-engineer hardware, special chips just for those models. Think about a Formula One team, right? They don't just buy an engine off the shelf, they design the engine and the car together so they fit perfectly for peak performance. That's exactly what's happening here. And then, Microsoft provides the world-class racetrack, Azure, where they can let this thing fly.
So what's the takeaway for each company? It's a perfect win-win-win. For Anthropic, they get all the computing power they could ever dream of, plus hardware that's tailor-made for them. For Nvidia, they basically guarantee that their brand new chips are the go-to choice for a top-tier AI model. And for Microsoft, well, they lock in this amazing AI partner, which is going to pull a ton of new enterprise customers to their Azure cloud. Okay, so we see how the three companies benefit. But what about the rest of us? Why does this whole thing matter outside of their boardrooms? Because believe me, an alliance this big is going to make some serious waves across the entire tech world.
Well, for starters, if you're a business using Azure, you now get really easy access to Anthropic's powerful Claude AI. That's a big deal in itself. But here's the real checkmate move. This makes Claude the only leading AI model that you can find on all three of the big clouds: Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud. That is a massive competitive advantage. It also locks in Nvidia's future hardware plans and keeps Claude right inside Microsoft's Copilot tools that millions of people use every day.
And that really brings us to the most important part of this whole story. Seriously, forget the billions of dollars for just a second. The absolute game changer here is this deep, deep integration. It's a co-engineering pact between the AI brain, Anthropic, and the hardware muscle, Nvidia. Getting the software and the silicon built together perfectly in sync, that is what could kick off the next giant leap forward in AI.
So, this all leaves us with one big hanging question. Is this what the future of AI innovation looks like? These massive, tightly knit alliances that have the money and the power to push boundaries like never before? Or are we watching the beginning of an AI oligopoly? A future where only a handful of these superpowered, interconnected teams can even afford to compete? That's the big question this deal forces all of us to think about.